Every game in the Final Fantasy series gets weird at times, but FF8 might just be the weirdest of the bunch. The difficulty scales as you gain levels, you get a timed salary instead of cash from monsters, and so on. But one thing that many players of FF8 might have missed are the two secret islands on the eastern and western extremities of the map. These islands can only be reached via the Ragnarok ship, and they're called, respectively, the island closest to heaven and the island closest to hell. Though they're placed on two opposite ends of the map, they're very near to each other because the map is spherical and the player can cut across the ocean, heading either east or west. If you happen to be flying by, you wouldn't see anything on them though. However, if you touch down and start walking around, you'll discover that these two islands have some of the toughest random encounters of the entire game. All the monsters there are level 100, monsters like Malboros, Tri-Faces, Ruby Dragons, Blue Dragons, Hexadragons, T-Rexors, and more. But going there is absolutely worth the risk because of the high abundance of rare magic, such as Aura, Holy, Meteor, Full Life, and Ultima. The enemies on the island closest to heaven are slightly easier than the ones on the island closest to hell, as the name might suggest, but the island closest to hell also has a higher concentration of rare magic and 31 draw points. However, not every draw point will be active at the same time, and they take a while to recharge. None of these draw points are visible on the map though. The player has to find them by walking around and rapidly pressing the X button to trigger a command prompt, asking the player if he or she wishes to draw magic. Because of its accessibility via the Ragnarok, this is a late game secret, but other strange things from FF8 are found earlier on, such as Zell's love quest. The main point of this quest is to acquire the Combat King magazine issue number 3, a magazine that teaches Zell new moves. There are 5 of these magazines in total, most of which can be picked up by the player if they're looking around carefully, but the Combat King issue number 3 requires a bit more work. The quest involves interacting with a girl who works in the library committee in Balam Garden. After Disc 3, if you visit Balam Town with Zell in your party, a girl in a red skirt shows up to ask Zell if he knows a girl with pigtails who works in the library. The girl in the red skirt tells us that her friend has gone to Zell's house looking for him, and if you spend the night at the hotel, Zell will be missing from your party in the morning. Head downstairs to see Zell talking to the library girl, after which the player will receive Combat King issue number 3. However, there will be more to their conversation depending on how many times the player has visited the library and the girl there. Results vary according to several different factors: the love meter and love compatibility. The love meter is affected by how many times Squall visits the library, and by the various interactions that can be had with the library girl. Interactions reveal that she's in love with Zell, who fails to notice this himself. During one particular visit, the library girl's friends have a questionnaire for him to fill out, asking his favorite food and color, which affect what kind of magic he can receive as a reward on a later visit. By Disc 3, when the scene between Zell and the library girl is finally triggered, there will be more or less dialogue between them depending on how much the player has visited and interact with the library girl. It's not surprising that most of this content is easily missed though, just like the mystery of FF8's Opal Lake. North of Timber, Opal Lake is a horseshoe-shaped lake beside a shallow river. If the player travels to the lake's inlet and presses X, a dialogue option will appear in which the player can choose either to throw a rock or try humming. If the player tries humming, a black shadow rises to the surface of the lake, at which point the player can throw a rock at it or try humming again. Humming to the black shadow will initiate a conversation, revealing that the shadow is looking for his friend, Mr. Monkey. The only clue we receive as to the monkey's whereabouts is in a forest somewhere near Dalit. If the player is able to find the right spot, we're given an option to throw a rock at the monkey or sing to it. Throw a rock at it. Yeah, that's really the correct option. And then go back to the Opal Lake and continue humming to the black shadow. He'll thank you for finding the monkey, but keep talking to the shadow until reading all of its dialogue. This begins a long side quest sequence in which the player will receive information about areas of the world to investigate for treasure. These clues, and the conversations in which they appear, can be strange, and they bring Squall all over the world in search of rare items. However, some of the clues, which are more like rumors, bring Squall to a dead end. For example, one rumor told by the Black Shadow is about a forgotten village. It goes, "Back in the day, south of here, there used to be a small but beautiful village surrounded by deep forests. Everyone lived a happy life there. This spot is on another continent to the south. It's not part of the mysteries that need to be cleared, but if Squall stands in the site of the former village and presses X, this message appears. This place just has rubble lying among the grass." This message and location has no other apparent purpose in the game, but it's just one of many of FF8's overworld map secrets. Another one that comes to mind is located on a small island to the southeast. Once you have the Ragnarok, fly over it slowly, and you'll notice a cactaur popping up and disappearing. Once you approach the green blob, a battle starts against Jumbo Cactaur, an enormous, giant cactaur with a curly mustache. This is a long, drawn-out battle due to the cactaur's excessively high HP. One move, 10,000 needles, instantly kills anyone in your party, and it can't be resisted, dodged, missed, or avoided. Casting slow will help a bit as you try to hack away at its HP, but toward the end of the battle, a message appears saying Jumbo Cactaur is hesitating, which means that its HP has fallen below 5% and it's preparing to run away. Once this happens, it's time to go all out, because if you allow his HP to hit 2%, he flees. That means you have to bring him down all at once with a series of powerful moves. For completing this fight, the player is rewarded with the Cactaur GF. Finally, it's impossible to talk about the weird secrets of FF8 without mentioning Poo Poo. Once you have the Ragnarok on Disc 3 and begin exploring FF8's overworld, you may start having strange encounters. In 4 different parts of the world, if Squall is running around, there's a chance he'll encounter a little UFO. There's nothing to do except watch it fly by though. There are 4 locations in total where Squall can have this odd experience. Then, once you've seen the UFO in all 4 spots, you can head over to Grandidi Forest. This time, the UFO appears on the ground, allowing the player to attack it. The UFO will blow up, flying off into the air, only to crash land on a nearby island. If the player is able to find the crash site, they'll encounter a small blue alien named Poo Poo. He'll ask for 5 elixirs, and if the player happens to have them, the battle concludes and Poo Poo will give Squall the legendary Poo Poo card. It's a high price, as elixirs are extremely rare in FF8. Poo Poo's got expensive tastes. Anyway, have any of my viewers found out these secrets for themselves? Which one's your favorite? And let me know down in the comments if I missed any good ones.